What's up, YouTube? My name's RL, and this is my affirmation video. The richest man in Babylon. I wrote it here. My journal. Just make sure you can see it with a pen. And this is the chapter, Meet the Goddess of Goodluck. If a man be lucky, there is no foretelling the possible extent of his good fortune. Pitch him into the city, and like as not he will swim out with a pearl in his hand. The desire to be lucky is universal. It was just as strong in the breasts of men 4,000 years ago in ancient Babylon as it is in the hearts of men today. We all hope to be favored by the whimsical goddess of good luck. Is there some way we can meet her and attract her, not only for her favorable attention, but of her generous favors? Is there a way to attract good luck? That is just what the men of ancient Babylon wished to know. It is exactly what they decided to find out. They were shrewd men, but they were keen thinkers. That explains why their city became one of the richest and most powerful cities that has all to ever live. In the distant past, they had no schools or colleges. Nevertheless, they were the center of learning, and very practical one it was. Among the towered buildings in Babylon was one that ranked in importance with the palace of the king. The affirmation video. Hanging gardens and the temples of the gods. You will find scant mention in the history of books, more likely in the creation of all, yet it is exerted a powerful influence upon the thought of that time. This building was the temple of learning, where the wisdom of the past was compounded by voluntary teachers and were subjects of popular interest and were discussed open in forums. Within its walls, all men met as equals. The humblest of slaves could dispute with impunity to the opinions of the prince of the royal house among the many who frequented the temple of learning. Was a wise rich man, follow them. Was a wise rich man named Arcad, called the richest man in Babylon. He had his own special hall, where almost any evening a large group of men, some old, some very young, but mostly middle-aged, gathered to discuss and argue interesting subjects. Suppose we listen to see whether they know how to attract good luck. The sun had just set like a great red ball, a fire shining through the haze of the desert dust, when Arcad strolled to his accustomed platform. Already, full 4 men were awaiting his arrival, reclining at their small rugs, spread the floor. More still arriving. What shall we discuss this night? Arcad inquired. After a brief hesitation, a tall cloth weaver addressed to him. Arising as was the custom, I have the subject I would like to hear discussed, yet hesitate to offer lest it seem ridiculous to you. Arcad, my good friends, hear. Upon being urged to offer it both by Arcad and by calls from the others, it continued. This day I have been lucky, for I have found a purse in which there are pieces of gold. To continue to be lucky, it is a great desire. Feeling that all men share with me this desire, I do suggest that we debut and attract good luck, that we may discover ways it can be enticed to want. A most interesting subject has been offered. Arcad commented, one most wealthy or worthy are of a discussion. To some men, good luck bespeaks but a chance of happening like an accident, but befall one without purpose or reason. Others do believe that the instigator of all good fortune is our goddess of good luck, but even as cautious as we may seem with the generous gifts that they may think pleaser, speak up to all my friends to say, you shall, and we see that we find that by that means, that by which good luck may be enticed to visit us. Yet, I would have to agree with that. That is a growing group of eager listeners. Thereupon, Arcad continued to start upon our discussion. First, hear from these among us who have enjoyed experiences similar to that of the cloth weaver and finding or receiving without effort upon the part valuable treasures or jewels. There was a pause in which all looked about expecting someone to reply, but no one did. What, no one? Arcad said, then rare indeed must be this kind of good luck. Who now will offer a suggestion as to where we shall continue our search? What I will do, spoke a well-robed young man, arising. When a man speaketh of good luck, it is not natural that his thoughts turn to the gaining of troubles or of the tables. Is it not there where we find many men courting the favor of the goddess in hope she will bless him with rich winnings? As he resumed his seat, and a voice called in his head and said, do not stop, continue thy story. Tell us, didn't you find from the favor with the goddess of the gaming tables, did she turn the cubes with the red side up so that they filled the purse of the dealer's expense, or did she permit the blue sides to come up so the dealer raked them in the hard earnings of a piece of silver? The young man joined the good-natured laughter, and then replied, I am not averse to admitting she seemed not to know I was even there. But how about the rest of you? Have you ever found her waiting about such places to roll the cubes in your favor? We are eager to hear as well as to learn. A wise start. Brooke and Arcad, we met there to consider all sides to each question. To ignore the gaming table would be to overlook an instinct common to most men, the love of taking a chance with a small amount of silver, in the hope of winning much gold. That does remind me of the races, but yesterday it called out to another listener, and they said, if the goddess frequents the gaming table, certainly that does not overlook the races where the gilded chariots and the foaming horses offer far more excitement. Tell us honestly, Arcad, did they whisper to you in the place and you bet upon those gray horses from those lands yesterday? I was standing just behind there, and it could be scarce belief in my ears when I heard the place that best yet upon the grays, that I now know that any of us on the team can beat and be loved by the bays at a fair race. Did the goddess whisper the ear to bet upon the grays because the last turn the inside black would stumble and interfere with our bays, that the grays would win the race and score on unearned victory? Arcad smiled at the banter. What reason have we to feel the good goddess would take that much interest in any man's bet upon a horse race? To me, she is a goddess of love and dignity, whose pleasure it is to see and to aid those who are in need and to reward those who are deserving. I look to find her not at the gaming tables or at the races where men lose mere gold more than they win, but in other places where the doing of men are more worthwhile and more worthy of a reward. And in tilling the soil and honest trading in all man's occupations, there is opportunity to make profit upon her efforts and his transactions. Perhaps not all the time will be rewarded, because sometimes his judgment may be faulty, and other times the winds of the weather may defeat his efforts. Yet he persists and may usually expect to realize his profit. This is so because the chances of profit are always in his favor, but when a man playeth the game, the situation is reversed, and the chances of profit are always against him and always in favor of the gamekeeper. The game is arranged that it will always favor the keeper. It is business at which he plans to make liberal profit for himself, which coins bet by the players. Few players realize how certain are the gamekeeper's profits and how uncertain their own chances to win. For example, let us consider wagers placed upon the cube. Each time it is cast, we bet which side. If it is the red side, the game master plays to all of us 4 times our bet. But if any of the 5 faces are uppermost, we lose our bet. Thus the figures show that for each cost we have 5 chances to lose, but for the red pays for 1, we have 4 chances to win. In a night's play, the game master can expect to keep for his profit 1/5 of all the coins he wagered, and a man can expect to win more than continuously against odds so arranged that he should lose 1/5 of all his bets. Yet some men do win large sums at some times voluntarily. One of the listeners quietly said, "Do they?" And they continued. Realizing this, the question comes to me whether money secured in such a way brings permanent value of those who are this lucky. Among my acquaintances are many of the successful men of Babylon, yet among them I am unable to name a single one that started his success from such a source. You are gathered here tonight and know many more of our substantial citizens. To me, it would be of much interest to learn how many of our successful citizens can credit the gaming tables with their start of success. Suppose each of you can tell one that you may know. What do you say? After a prolonged silence, Away ventured, wouldn't it be inquired to just be a gamekeeper? If you think of one of else, Arcad responded. If not one of you can think of anyone else, then how about yourselves? Are there any consistent winners with us who hesitate to advise such a source for their incomes? His challenges were answered and accepted by a series of groans from the rear taken up and spread amid much laughter. It would seem we are not seeking good luck in such places of the goddess frequents, he continued. Therefore, let us explore other fields. We have not found it haunting the gaming tables. As to the races, I must confess to have lost for more coins than I have ever won. Now, I suppose we consider our trades and our business. It is as natural as we conclude in a profitable transaction to consider it not so good luck, but just to the reward of our efforts. I am inclined to think we may be overlooking the gifts of the goddess. Perhaps she really does assist us when we do not appreciate her generosity. Who can suggest further discussion? Thereupon an elderly merchant arose, smoothing his gentle white robe. With the permission, most honorable Arcad and friends, I have offered a suggestion. If you, as I said, we take credit to our own industry and ability for our business success, why not consider the successes we almost enjoy as escaped us, happenings which would have been profitable? They would have been rare examples of good luck if they had actually happened, because they were not brought to you by fulfillment. We cannot consider them as our just rewards. Surely many men have such experiences to relate. Here is a wise approach. Arcad approved. Who among you have good luck with your grasp to see it escape? Many hands were raised. Among them, one was a merchant. Arcad motioned him to speak. As suggested this approach, we should like to hear first upon you. I would gladly relate a tale, he resumed, that it does illustrate how closely unto a man good luck may approach and how blindly he may permit it to escape. Much to his loss and later regret, many years ago, when I was a young man, just married and well started to earning, my father did not come one day to urge most strongly that I enter in an investment. The son of one of his good friends had taken notice of the barren tract at the land not far beyond the outer walls of our city. It lay high above the canal where no water could reach it. The son of my father's friend revised a plan to purchase this land, build 3 large water wheels that could be operated by oxygen, and thereby raise the life-giving waters to the fertile soil. This accomplished, he planned and divided into a small tracts and to sell to the residents of the city. Herb patches. The son of the father's friends did not possess sufficient gold to complete such an undertaking. Like myself, he was a young man earning a fair sum. His father, like mine, was a man of a large family and of small means. He therefore decided to interest a group of men to enter the enterprise with him. The group was to compromise 12, each of whom must be a money earner, and to agree to pay 1/10 of his earnings into the enterprise until the land was made ready for sale. All would then share justly in the profits in his proportion to their investment. Thou, my son, bespoke my father unto me, and the art and the young manhood. It is my deep desire that thou now begin the building of a valuable estate for myself, that I might become a respected among men. I desire to see thou profit from knowledge of the thoughtless mistakes of thy father. This I do most desire, my father. I replied, then this I do advise. Do what I should have done at that age. From thy earnings keep out 1/10 and put one in favorable investments. With this 1/10 of the earnings and what you will also earn, that consists before thou art of the age will accumulate itself to a valuable estate. The words of wisdom. Greatly do I desire riches, yet there are many uses for which my earnings are called. Therefore do I hesitate to do as that I am advised. I am young, there is plenty of time. So I thought of my age, yet behold, many years I have passed, and I have not yet made the beginning. We live in a different age. My father, here, my mind, I shall avoid those mistakes. Opportunity stands before you. It is offering a chance that you may lead to wealth. I have to say, don't delay. Go upon tomorrow to the friend and bargain with him to pay % of the earnings into the investment. Go promptly upon tomorrow. Opportunity waits for no man. Today is here. Soon it is gone. Therefore, delay not. In spite of the advice of my mentors, I did hesitate at one point. We hesitate, and therefore we are beautiful. And the new robes just bought by the tradesmen from the east, robes of such richness and beauty, my good wife and I felt we must each possess one. Should I agree to pay 1/10 of my earnings into the enterprise, we must deprive ourselves of these and other pleasures we dearly desire. I delayed making a decision until it was too late, much to my regret. The enterprise did prove to be more profitable than any man had ever realized. This is my tale showing that I did permit Goodluck to escape. In this tale, we see how Goodluck waits to come to that man who accepts opportunity. Commented by a man in the desert. To the building of an estate, that there must always be the beginning, that start, and may be few of pieces of gold and silver, in which a man diverts from his earnings. To his first investment, I, myself, the owner of the herds, many herds. The start of my herds I did begin when I was mere a boy, and I did purchase with 1 piece of silver a young calf. This being the beginning of my wealth was a great importance to me. To take his first start to building an estate is as good luck as can come to any man. With all men, that first step which changes them from who earn from their own labor to men who draw dividends from the earnings of their gold, is important. Some fortunately take it when young and thereby outstrip in financial success those who do take it later, or those unfortunate men, like the father of this merchant, who never took it. Had our friend the merchant taken this step in his early manhood, when this opportunity came to him this day, he would be blessed with much more of this world's goods. Should the good luck of our friends, the cloth weaver, cause him to take such a step at this time, it will indeed be but the beginning of a much greater good fortune. Thank you. I like to speak also a stranger from another century arose. I am a Syrian, not so well do I speak your tongue. I wish to call this friend the merchant a name. Maybe you think it's not so polite, this name, yet I wish to call him that, but also I not know the word for it. If I do call it Syrian, and you will not understand. Therefore, please, some good gentleman, tell me the right name you will call a man who puts off doing those things that might be good for him. Procrastinator, called a voice. That's him, shouted the Syrian, waving his hands excitedly. He accepts not opportunity when she comes. He waits. He says, I have much business right now, by and by. I talk to you. Opportunity, she will not wait for such a slow fellow. She thinks if a man desires to be lucky, he will step quick. Any man not step quick, when opportunity comes, he's a big procrastinator, like our friend, this merchant. The merchant arose and bowed good-heartedly in response to the laughter. My admiration to the stranger within our gates who hesitates not to speak the truth. And now let us hear take another tale of opportunity who has for us another experience, demanded Arcad. I have, responded a red-robed man of middle age. I am a buyer of animals, mostly camels and horses. Sometimes I do also buy the sheep and goats. The tale I am about to relate will tell truthfully how opportunity came one night I did least expect it. Perhaps for this reason I did let it escape. Of this you shall be the judge. Returning to the city one evening after a disheartening 10 days' journey in search of camels, I was much angered to find the gates of the city closed and locked. While my slaves spread our tent for the night, which we looked to spend with little food and no water, I was approached by an elderly farmer who, like ourselves, found himself outside. Honored sir, he addressed me, from this appearance I do judge that you be a buyer. If this be so much, would I like to sell one of the most excellent flock of sheep just driven up. Also, my good wife lies very sick with fever. I must return with all haste, buy the sheep that I need for my slaves in the amount of camels, and travel back without delay. So dark it was that I could not see the flock from which was bleeding. I did not know that it must be so large. Having wasted 10 days searching for camels I could not find, I was glad to bargain with him. In his anxiety he did set a most reasonable price. I accepted, well knowing my slaves could drive the flock through the city gates in the morning and sell out a substantial profit. The bargain concluded, I called my slaves to bring the torches that might count in the flock. The farmer declared to contain 100. I shall burden you, my friends, with a description of the difficulty in attempting to account many thirsty, rentless, milling sheep. It proved to be an impossible task. Therefore, I bluntly informed the farmer I would count at daylight and pay him then. Please, most honorable sir, he pleaded, pay me but 2/3 of the price tonight, that it may be on the way. I will leave my most intelligent and educated slave to assist to make the count in the morning. He is trustworthy, and to him can pay the balance. But I was stubborn and refused to make payment that night. Next morning before I awoke, the city gates opened and 4 buyers rushed in search of flocks. They were most eager and willing to pay him high prices because the city was so threatened with siege and food was not plentiful. Nearly 3 times the price of which he had offered the flock to me was the price at which was offered the flock to which the farmer received for it. This was rare good luck allowed to escape. Here is a tale most unusual, commented Arcad. What wisdom does it suggest? The wisdom of making payment immediately. When we are convinced our bargain is wise, suggest a saddle maker. If thy bargain be good, then does that need protection against thy own weaknesses as much as any other men. We are mortals and are changeable. Also, we must say we are apt to change in our minds. Right, then wrong. Wrong, we are stubborn-minded, they are. Right, we are prone to opportunity, letting it escape. My first judgment is my best yet, and it has always found it difficult to compel myself to proceed with a bargain when it is made. Therefore, as protection against my own weaknesses, I do make a prompt deposit thereupon. This does save me from later regrets for the good luck that should have been mine. Thank you. Again, I like to speak. The Syrian was upon the feet once more. I just like to talk. These tales much are alike. Each time opportunity fly away for some reason, each time she come to the procrastinator bringing a good plan. Each time they hesitate not to say, right now, best time, I do it quick. How can men succeed that way? Wise are thy words, my friend, responded the buyer. Goodluck fled from the procrastinator in both tales. Yes, this is not unusual. The spirit of procrastination is within all men. We desire riches, yet how often when opportunity does appear before us, the spirit of procrastination from within does urge various delays in our acceptance and listening to it as we become our own worst enemies. In my younger days, I did not know it by this long word of our friend from the Syrians. It does enjoy. I did think of it as the first own in my own poor judgment, and that did cause me a loss of many profitable trades. Later, I did credit to my stubborn disposition. At last, I did recognize for what it was, a habit of needlessly delaying, where actions were required and actions prompt and decisive. How did I not do it when the true character was stood revealed? With the bitterness of a wild ass hitched to a chariot, I did break loose from this enemy to my success. Thank you. I like to ask questions from Mr. Merchant. The Syrian was speaking. Syrian is speaking. These people are speaking. My book is speaking. My mentors are speaking. Are you speaking? I'm speaking. You gotta say it again. The Syrian was speaking. You wear fine robes not like those of a poor man. You speak like a successful man. Tell us, do you listen now when procrastination whispers in your ear? Like your friend the buyer, I also had to recognize and conquer procrastination, responded the merchant. To me, it proved to be an enemy, ever watching and waiting to thwart my accomplishments. The tale I did relate is but one of many similar instances I could tell to show how it drove away my opportunities. 'Tis not difficult to conquer once understood. No man willingly permits the thief to rob his bins of grain, nor does any man willingly permit any enemy to drive away his customers and rob him of his profits. When I did recognize that such acts as these my enemy was committing with determination, I conquered him. So must every man master his own spirit of procrastination before he can accept to share in the riches of Babylon. What says Arcad? Because the art of the richest man in Babylon, many do proclaim thee to be the luckiest. Does agree with me that no man can arrive last full measure of success until he has completely crushed the spirit of procrastination within him. It is even though to say Arcad admitted, during my long life I have watched generations following generations marching forward along these avenues of trade science and learning that leads to success in life. Opportunities came to all of these men. Some grasped theirs, moved steadily to the gratification of their deepest desires, but the majority hesitated, faltered, and fell behind. Arcad turned to the cloth weaver. They did suggest that we debate luck. Let us hear what they think us upon the subject. I do see good luck in a different light. I had, though, of it as something most desirable that might happen to any man without effort upon his part. Now, I do realize such happenings are not the sort of timing and may attract to oneself. And that's from our discussion. We have learned to attract good luck to oneself, and it is necessary to take advantage. Therefore, in the future, I shall endeavor to make the best of such opportunities as I do come to me. And I have grasped well the truths that have brought forth in this discussion, Arcad replied. Good luck. We do find often follows opportunity, some otherwise weird thing. And our merchant friend would have found a great good luck and had accepted opportunity the good goddess did present to him. Our friend the buyer likewise would have enjoyed good luck had he completed the purchase of the flock and sold at such a handsome profit. We did pursue this discussion to find a means by which good luck could be enticed to us. I feel that way. Both of the tales did illustrate how good luck follows opportunity. Herein lie within a truth that many similar tales of good luck, won or lost, it cannot be changed. The truth is this: good luck can be enticed by accepting opportunity. Those eager to grasp opportunities for their betterment do attract the interest of the good goddess. She is ever anxious to aid those who please her. Men of action please her best. Action will lead thee forward to success of the most desirable. And that's a chapter of Men of Action are favored by the goddess of good luck. And the richest man in Babylon. My name is R.O. And I hope you're listening to my video. I'll talk to you later.